Here I am again, playing with the mori, making a part. And what I'm finding is with this thing, I'm having to run each operation. So for the first part, what I'm doing is breaking it up. So here's the part I'm making. Just a simple little adapter that 700 thousandths hole, 0.125 here that slides into, I didn't bring it in here, a piece that slides over that, and then that slides over a shaft. So I want it to slide over the shaft, have kind of a decent looking curve here, and then the other piece slides here, so it'll kind of give it a little bit of a, I don't know, looks better than just a thing stuck on it. So what I'm finding is in here, so I've got a facing op, profile roughing, so you can see the tool path here, and then a profile finishing, so it just runs along this path and just gets that last little bit. So if you look over here, you've got tool 1, tool 3, tool 8, tool 7, and tool 5. So what I ran the first part and I got to, like, you know, this op right here and realized that everything looked terrible. So what I'm having to do is run tool 1, and so I'm post-processing just these 3 and running that as a program. And then I go in and I measure stuff and go, oh, you know what, it's a little oversized or it's a little undersized, or, you know, I start out oversized, and then I just keep playing with the offsets until it runs the part correctly. And then I do this as its own profile, these 2 programs here with tool 3, and then I do the same thing, check my offsets, check my sizes, make sure everything's right, everything looks good. And then I do this one all by itself. Yeah, it's just a drill, so really not much you have to do with it. And then now I'm running this op. So this is steel, so you can see all these lines here are what it's doing right now. So you can see where I'm at. I probably could have went more aggressive with that, but I didn't want to chance it. I've only got one of these little teeny tiny boring bars. It's about like, let's see if I can find that little boring bar I had. What did I do with that thing? Oh, here it is. A little boring bar, about that size, a little small thing, and I'm running it on steel, so just never run it before, so I'm using this to learn. So anyway, but yeah, that's what I'm finding I'm having to do. I don't know if it's losing its settings when I turn it off or what, but I'm having to adjust in everything on the very first part. Now once I get that one part run, I can put another part in there, hit start, and let her rip, and it's exactly the same thing every time, but I have to tinker with it. And you know, I'm going from aluminum, which is what I was cutting before, and these tools were set correctly and they gave me the dimensions I was after. Now I'm going to steel, so I don't know if maybe it's cutting differently, and because of that, that's why I'm having to change the offsets. But yeah, it's nice to be able to make this stuff. But so far, this thing's running great. And here's my phase converter, and that's the amperage I'm pulling right now. So that's just on one leg, but right now it's pulling 16.3 amps through the phase converter and into this. The phase converter by itself pulls like 6 or 7 amps just running the motor. So I'm really only pulling about 10 amps right now. This was skyrocketing to like 80 or 90 amps when this motor would spin up. So when I change the VFD settings in the back to where it spins up a little bit slower, that seems to have completely fixed that problem. But yeah, this thing's working great. I am it's nice to have the capability to do this stuff. But it's just, man, that first program is horrible. Actually, let me just, I'm going to feed hold this thing once I go to another. Wait on that. And stop it. And turn that off. Turn the spindle off. Okay, so you can see what I'm making. I probably shouldn't have done that. I got some pliers around here somewhere. But wow, this thing's getting packed full of chips. But yeah. So far, everything looks good. But yeah, that's the part so far. You can see it start to take shape. So this is the ledge and this is the little curve thing. And the bore is in here. So eventually I'll part it off right about here. I went a little further to give my tool room to move, but you can see all the chips that I've been making here lately, and I just stuck that down there. But so I got it stopped. Turn the spindle on. Turn the coolant on. Let it give it a chance to spin up and start it. And there it goes. Yeah, that's for what I've got in this thing. I've got a leak here I've got to figure out. Ooh, got a big leak. Look at that. I think it's just dripping out here. Yeah. So I'll have to figure that out. It's got a little door here that you can take off. But that's nothing a Pig Mac can't handle. But and I've got $3,500 in the lathe itself, and then I paid, you know, like $500 for all the extra tooling that I bought for it, which I'm not even using half of it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this thing. It's doing great. It's a great tool that I can learn on. It's worth every dime I paid for it so far. So anyway, there you go. Quick little update and what I'm doing here. So have a good day. Bye.